So we're finally on this issue with the return of Ultimate Spider-Man Peter Parker and the Ultimate Universe. Or is it? You'll have to find out. It is good though. It is good. What is going on, guys? Welcome to this video. What is going on, guys? Welcome to this video. My name is Cameron and this is the review for Spider-Man 2 issue 5, the huge issue with a twist that nobody actually expected, with the return of the Ultimate Universe and Ultimate Spider-Man Peter Parker. Now obviously I'm not going to go into too much detail just yet as to why that comes around or how it comes around and everything like that, because you'll just have to read the issue in the review. But one thing I do want to talk about is that Michael Bendis, the writer of these comics, with the Ultimate Spider-Man comics, with the Miles Morales comics and all that, he's actually leaving Marvel and going over to DC Comics. So all of the comics that Michael Bendis is writing at Marvel is either going to be concluded or it's coming to an end or something along those lines. So that's kind of why it would make sense for Michael Bendis to do something with Ultimate Spider-Man Peter Parker and everything like that, because this could be his last chance to actually bring something like that back. But enough of that. What happened in the previous issue? The issue opened up with the funeral for the wife/girlfriend of evil Miles Morales, and I've got to say it was actually really depressing to see something like that. But I keep going on about it. It humanized Miles Morales' character and it left him in a spot that we can all relate to. I mean, like, most of us have been to funerals, they're really sad. And so to see someone like him, like an evil Miles Morales, actually go through something similar, you can understand what he's going through. As for our Spider-Man Miles Morales, he's actually still dealing with a possible new love interest with Barbara Rodriguez. What I really like about this, as I've already said, is that she's not exactly a super dumb character. She actually suspects that Miles is an Inhuman or a mutant or something along those lines, because he did save her from that giant head thing, so yeah. This also led to the possibility of Miles actually telling Barbara that he is indeed Spider-Man, but that's probably going to play on his mind for a little bit longer than revealing it right now. Later on in the comic, we saw Miles come across Taskmaster, and Peter Parker met up with Miles further down in the comic. And this brought on that really long chat, which was kind of unnecessary in my opinion, about the responsibility of being Spider-Man and them choosing that life. Unfortunately, both of the Spider-Men get knocked out, and they actually miss their chance to see this evil Miles Morales for the first time. But as the issue comes to a close, the evil Miles Morales has already set his heart and his goals on going to this alternate universe to meet the love of his life one more time in an alternate dimension. Before we go any further, I just want to announce that I'm doing a giveaway for this issue. Let me just pick it up. There we go. So I'm doing a giveaway for this comic, and the giveaway is actually on my Instagram. The link is in the description, and all you have to do is go to the picture, like the picture, and follow me on Instagram as well. So yeah, again, the link's in the description, and that is all you have to do, and you can win this exact comic that is like in the background of this video, this one right here. So if you want a chance of winning, go and do that. So anyway, I'm sure you guys are dying to see how the Ultimate Universe comes back, how the Ultimate Peter Parker comes back, and all that crazy stuff. So let's just get straight into it and let's go. So open up the first few pages of the issue, and we're going over to Peter Parker Spider-Man regretting what he said to Miles Morales about telling him that he doesn't deserve to be Spider-Man. Because obviously, ever since Miles became Spider-Man after Ultimate Peter Parker died, there's always that thing been in the back of Miles' mind about having that blessing from Peter Parker about being Spider-Man. So it really hits Miles hard when someone like Peter Parker says that he doesn't deserve to be Spider-Man. Except this time, Peter was saying it because he understands how much stress it is to be a teenager and have the weight of the world, let alone the multiverse, on your shoulders. So really, he's saying it out of love and care for Miles, you know, sort of just looking out for him, because Peter knows exactly what it's like to be a teenager and be Spider-Man. Not to mention, Miles has just discovered that there is an evil person causing all this chaos with the exact same name as him. So it's pretty crazy. Anyway, really quickly, just to go into what's happening on screen, I know some of you guys were concerned with Miles' spider sense, etc. And in this panel that we just saw on screen, Peter Parker's spider sense goes off and Miles Morales' spider sense doesn't go off. Just to clear a few things up, Peter Parker's spider sense is a lot more sensitive to danger than Miles' spider sense is. And obviously in the previous issue, that massive building blew up underneath them and both of their spider senses went off. That was because the entire building that Miles was standing on was about to be blown up, and that's why Miles' spider sense went off. Whereas in this issue, it was just a little bit of gas that was thrown at them, and that's why Peter Parker's spider sense went off. Whereas Miles is more accustomed to like big dangers, if you get what I mean. Anyway, as you can see on screen, Taskmaster has appeared, of course, and it was awesome how Miles Morales used his Venom Blast on Taskmaster, because it's been a while since we've seen that, or at least it's not used as often as it used to be. And of course, with Taskmaster being here, that only means that the evil Miles Morales is close by. And what I thought was awesome was that this evil Miles Morales was so dedicated to go into this other universe that he was willing to give everything that he's built up in this universe to his assistant. And I really like how he acknowledges what an awesome job she's done over the years, like supporting him and not judging him. And I think that's really nice of him. And again, I keep going on about the whole humanizing his character sort of thing, but it just goes to show that he does genuinely appreciate certain people, and it's just brilliant to see that. Now, of course, going into what's happening on screen, we've got evil Miles Morales preparing to travel to this mystery alternate universe. And just before he manages to get through, Miles Morales Spider-Man confronts him and tells him that his name is Miles Morales. And in that moment, it's almost like the evil Miles Morales understands what's actually going on in front of him. Just for that split second, realizes that the Spider-Man Miles Morales is him as well. And then makes the choice to shoot Miles, because at the end of the day, the evil Miles Morales doesn't care about anything else. He just wants to get to this alternate universe and meet the love of his life one more time. It was like he was willing to do whatever necessary to get there. It was pure awesomeness, and just the absolute devastation on Spider-Man Miles Morales' face when the evil Miles walks through the portal, because he's got no closure to the situation. He doesn't know who this mystery person was with the same name as him, and it's just kind of left open or closed to him now. So we'll have to see what happens in the future about that, but I feel like that's going to be a major thing in the future of Spider-Man Miles' life. Also, just getting on throughout the issue even further, one thing that I was quite concerned about was Miles just took a bullet to the shoulder. He's just like chilling with Peter Parker, sat on top of rubble, not really getting any medical attention. Like, it just seems too fine for the situation, because even though he's got spider powers, if you get shot, I mean, he got shot. He got shot, but whatever, I'll let it go. But now, of course, going over to the evil Miles Morales, which universe did he go to? Which alternate dimension has he traveled to meet the love of his life once again? And I really like how it opens up and it sort of takes you through this universe. You can tell that it's extremely similar to the universe that he's just come from, and the only other universe that looked like that was indeed the Ultimate Universe. Now, as you can see, he stumbles into this restaurant, and I really love how it sort of picks up with his relationship, as if this Barbara from this universe and of course our evil Miles Morales know each other like already. Like, it's really cool to see that they're already connecting immediately, because obviously it's suggesting that these two characters are meant for each other, and I think that's really sweet and really special. But turning over the page, the moments that we've all been waiting for. When you travel to an alternate universe, not only do you have alternate characters of the love of your life, but you also have alternate characters of every other person, including Spider-Man. And as you can see, this is Ultimate Spider-Man with the return of Ultimate Peter Parker, and of course you've got all of the Ultimates with like Captain America, Grey Hulk, etc, etc. And now there's something that I need to stress to you guys immensely. You know, like how there is infinite universes and infinite alternate dimensions, etc. Well, this is the Ultimate Universe if Peter Parker didn't die. Because if Peter Parker didn't die, then he would have joined the Ultimates with Captain America. Him and Mary Jane would have been together. So what we're seeing on screen right now is a universe where Peter Parker survived going up against Green Goblin in the Sinister Six and being shot by the Punisher, and it is just awesome. Now, I'll talk about this a little bit more in detail when I'm back on camera, because I've got quite a bit to say about it. So if you want to hear more details about like why this Ultimate Universe has come round again and everything, then wait until I'm on camera. As for the next page of this, we're going back over to Miles Morales back in the all new, all different universe, and he's sort of contemplating what the heck he's just witnessed, because obviously he's still wondering what kind of person this alternate Miles Morales was, the evil one. And of course, it's sort of setting up Miles' story in a way where it can be picked up a little bit later on, because he's going to take this Barbara on a date. And of course, if it's anything like the alternate Miles Morales that we've just been witnessing, then this Barbara is going to be the love of his life. And I thought what was really great and something that's going to develop Miles' character quite well is the fact that he's not talking about being a good Spider-Man, he's talking about being the best man that he could be as a person. And so I think that's going to be great, and I can't wait. Guys, thank you so much for reading this issue. I hope you enjoyed the return of Ultimate Spider-Man Peter Parker. But now let's go back on camera and talk about that a little bit more in depth. Okay, so you guys should... Thought I didn't have my microphone on for the entire video then, I nearly cried. Alright, so you guys should be mind blown right now, and if you're not then you definitely should be, because this means that technically the Ultimate Universe and Ultimate Peter Parker has returned. What it is, it's an alternate universe exactly the same as the Ultimate Universe, so it pretty much is the Ultimate Universe, but it's where Peter Parker survived the fight with the Sinister Six and Green Goblin and the gunshot wound by Punisher. So, Ultimate Peter Parker's back. Ultimate Spider-Man is back. Ultimate Universe is back. Now, I know to us, like, as the reader, like, technically, it isn't the Ultimate Universe like the Ultimate Universe, but in a way, it also is the Ultimate Universe. Like, it's exactly the same as it. It might as well just be it. So, what I'm really looking forward to is the fact that what was mentioned in the comic was that Aunt May's got a new boyfriend, Gwen's there, Mary Jane was actually on the watch that Peter Parker was talking to, and also Kong has come back from the army, because if you remember from the Ultimate Spider-Man comics that I'm still reviewing, Kong is actually decent friends with Peter Parker. So what's really good about this is that it's suggesting that it's setting up storylines and the continuation to see what happens next in a new comic series or something like that. So what I'm imagining is going to happen is that we're going to get a new Ultimate Spider-Man comic book series with Peter Parker, and if that happens, mind blown. Now, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, Brian Michael Bendis is leaving Marvel to go to DC Comics, and that means that Brian Michael Bendis, obviously he's the guy that writes all the Ultimate Spider-Man comics, he writes all the Miles Morales comics, etc. And he's actually said on Twitter that all of the comic book series that he's writing, or is currently writing, or is planning, he's actually concluding those and finishing them, or setting them up for their next adventure. And this is probably why he's chosen to bring the Ultimate Spider-Man comics back with Ultimate Peter Parker in a pretty cool way, because obviously he's leaving the book. So if he left and just didn't do anything with Ultimate Spider-Man, we probably wouldn't get Ultimate Peter Parker returning ever. So I think it's really cool and actually quite a nice twist that he's thought of that. I mean, especially over the last couple of years where Ultimate Spider-Man has really picked up in the comics. I mean, it's super popular now. As an Ultimate Spider-Man super fan, it's so exciting. But anyway, pushing Ultimate Spider-Man aside, we saw evil Miles Morales actually travel to this new Ultimate Universe, meet Barbara for the first time, and I really liked it, as I've already said, how they sort of picked up from where they left off. They knew each other instantly and they had that instant spark with each other. I really liked that. But something that I didn't mention in the comic book review was where Taskmaster said, "I've got the three of you." But the thing is, there was only Miles Morales and Peter Parker. So who was the third person? Because I can't imagine it being the evil Miles Morales, because he was already going out of there. So Taskmaster is talking about a third character that he's also dealing with. Is it a character from an alternate dimension? I'm sure that story is going to continue with Taskmaster in a different comic book along the way. So that's going to be really interesting to see. And I know, guys, you're probably thinking that it might be nothing, but this is what always happens in comics. Like, little details like this actually get picked up again in the future of comics that you thought nothing of. So just remember that that happened. Moving on, I feel like the direction of the comic with our own Spider-Man Miles Morales actually changes the way he thinks, because he's sort of determining what kind of person he wants to be now. Not what kind of Spider-Man, but an actual person overall. And I think that's going to affect his relationship with Barbara and also his relationship with Spider-Man. And it makes me question, like, the end of the comic is with the broken Spider-Man lens in his mask. So is he going to have like a suit redesign? Is he just going to kind of re-amp his Spider-Man persona? What is going to go on with that? I'm really interested to find out, because like, it's a pretty major thing. I think it's hinting at something more to do with like him as a person, and I'm looking forward to it. But now, as the overall comic, what I'm interested in is seeing what the evil Miles Morales does in this new Ultimate Universe, because he's gone there, but he's still an evil Miles Morales. He's still going to go there, possibly try and meet up with this universe's Kingpin, because if you remember, in our Ultimate Universe, Kingpin was knocked off the edge of the building by Mysterio. It's a long story, I'll get to it in my comic book reviews, but in this other universe, he might not be dead. Like, he might be still alive, so you never know. But what's really important to think about is the fact that this evil Miles Morales, his story is not yet finished. Like, anything could happen. He's gone to this new universe, and I have a feeling that he's probably going to try and take over, similar to how he did in his original universe, and I'm really looking forward to that as well. So guys, let's go into the comic book rating and everything like that. I'm going to give this issue like a full-on 10 out of 10. It's a little bit biased because I'm a massive like Ultimate Spider-Man fan, but I do not care. I think this massive twist of bringing Ultimate Peter Parker back, it's like the final thing that Brian Michael Bendis could do for the fans before leaving Marvel, and it's honoured so well, and I'm so glad he did it. I also think it's a really good way to end the Spider-Man 2 series, because we had Spider-Man 1 ages ago, a few years ago, and it left that open as to who Miles Morales is of the 616 universe, and now we still kind of don't know that. That's really weird, because even though we know of the 616 Miles Morales now, we don't really know too much about what he's going to do next, but it's going to be interesting nonetheless. So guys, that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed the whole comic, the return of Ultimate Peter Parker and the Ultimate Universe. I'm so hoping that they make an Ultimate Spider-Man Peter Parker comic book series again. Starting off from where this comic sort of opened up, with them fighting Green Goblin with the Ultimates and Peter going back to like Mary Jane and Aunt May with a new boyfriend and that. It'd be so good. Like, on to the more important stuff, guys. Remember that we've got a giveaway going on for this comic. Link is in the description to my Instagram. Remember, all you have to do is follow me on Instagram and like the picture, and you are in for a chance of winning the comic. And guys, if you want more videos like this, hit that subscribe button. It means so much to me if you do that. It means that you like my videos. And speaking of liking videos, hit the like button, leave a comment below, and I will see you all next time. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.